Perfect. So DigestMe, right? Your personal gut wellness companion. DigestMe, think about 23andMe, but for your gut. Next slide. So DigestMe is to empower millions of people to improve their gut health. I think as you think about gut health, so many people have it and they typically don't get treated for it, or they go to a doctor and they just get prescribed medicine, right? So we're trying to improve gut health and improve the overall quality of life. So problem, millions of people suffering from gut health, and a lot of people don't know it, right? So 56% of people not seeking care from a doctor. That's a high number, right? 76% have GI symptoms for greater than 6 months, and 40% have functional GI disorders. So you think 56% of people that aren't even going to a doctor, not even knowing about some of these root issues, you can imagine the health concerns that they might have. Next slide. So solution, mobile app, immediate solution for us. So what we want to do there is hit the user right away. We want to take in a bunch of data points, attributes for the 56% that are not going to see doctors today. At least we start to take in some data, history, right? Workout, food intake, things that they're doing day to day, sleep, amount of water. So we're taking those data points in. And then from there, we're also trying to get personalized labs involved. That's part of phase 2. The personalized labs will come from partnerships, and then customized plans, ongoing support, and coaching as well from nutritionists and professionals. Next slide. So the underlying magic for us, it's the analytics, right? Most personalized info on gut health in real time. So you go in, you fill out a questionnaire. Heartburn, maybe it's your stomach. You just have stomach pain. You put that in, and then out comes an output of maybe changes that you can make, which is instant. You don't have to wait for a doctor appointment. You don't have to wait till next week. You could start making changes right away. So the underlying magic is that data input for the user, and then that real-time feedback to start making those changes. Next slide. Product. So here's a little bit inside the product itself. We built this from the ground up. It was hard to pick the colors. We went with red over purple. And you can see from here a lot of the attributes that we start to take in and some of these data points from an end user to help them start to get on a better plan and really start to get to the root cause of understanding what that discomfort is or what that GI issue might be. Next slide. Here's still a couple more visuals into our product. So on the other end, in phase 2, previous slide, if phase 2, we want to be able to get, again, nutritionists on board, but first we want to be able to target the users right away and start giving them some real visibility again into the daily changes that they could be making right away as well. So you see right there, there's analytics for Elisa. Frowny face, she's obviously not doing so good, and then other various data points that we capture as well. Next slide. Market size, so 36 million. This is just in the US. The entire world, there's a lot bigger market cap. So 36 million primary diagnosis at office visits, 7.9 million primary diagnosis at emergency department visits, and the 3.8 million primary diagnosis is outpatient department visits. So next slide. With that 36 million, our goal is to capture 10% of that market in just the US. Those numbers have increased over the last couple of years. That data was from 2018. So the 6.2 million, 10%. We're being very conservative here as well with the way that that data has rose over the past couple of years. With that 6.2 million, if we convert 30-day free subscription, convert $9.99 yearly, and then that would be 61 million per year, valuation roughly 250 million. Next slide. Competitor analysis. Zoe, Viomi, both have mobile apps. The other two do not. They're also very expensive. Ours is a way more comprehensive, user-friendly, and affordable. Next slide, please. Go-to-market roadmap. 2022, ideal customers aged 20 to 60, suffering from GI problems who do not know what the cause is today. 2023, experimentation improvements, start obviously marketing, and then 2024, just continue to scale. Next slide. Thank you.
Bam! Right on the dot. That's the timer. We are at the 5 minutes, and I will shift that to our 3-minute portion of Q&A from our judges.
So I noticed that essentially providing health advice. So is there any need for getting an FDA approval or anything like that down the line, or is it more so of taking information already available and providing that back to the
Yeah,
person?
you got it. So we're not doing anything. We checked out the HIPAA and the regulatory requirements in the FDA. We're just taking in data and giving them output, right? And then from there, we want to onboard professionals in the future, and we're still going to look at that. I think on average, a nutritionist costs $90 an hour. We're going to try to compete with those prices, but we need to build up the user base first. We're still not even touching any HIPAA, FDA, or regulatory issues, even if we bring on a nutritionist. And that's why we want to stay away from the kits like the 23andMe kits have. We're focusing just on GI. We're staying very focused in that vertical. We're not bringing on diabetes or any other health concern. And so when we go with the partners, we want to do an integration with the partners to have them sell the kit. So our users, if they want a kit, there would be a link to a partner site, and then they would deal with all the back end legal issues. So we don't have to get into that.
Anthony, so what would an example of that output look like? So I get on the app, I put in my stomach hurts. Like, what is the data that I'm getting back?
So we still need to figure out the data on the back end, but our hope is that after, if you're going to use the app and you start doing daily intake in that app, we're going to work with professionals on the back end to start providing those reports and those visualizations out so that they could start addressing it without having to get medication and or go directly to a doctor. I think the 56% that don't even go to doctors already, we think we can capture them. And then above the 56%, we don't know that they even have to begin by going to a doctor. So the output is going to be from a professional based off a report that will drive over time as we continue to collect that data, right? And then in the future, we could definitely build in AI and ML, but we need enough data to be able to do that to begin with.
Yeah, so the whole premise of the app relies on the user consistently putting data in. So how do you incentivize them to do that?
So with the user constantly putting, right, so the value is the app. So the marketing plan, and to see, I don't know if any of us know that any of our apps are going to work today unless we go to market with it, right? So that's next steps. We need to go to market. We're going to take a budget of $1,000. We're going to hit Instagram, Facebook right away, because newspapers, billboards, mail that's old, that doesn't work, email. So we're going to go Instagram, 20 to 60 years old. We're going to hit it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 to 10 p.m. We're going to do $100 per day. We're going to have $1,000, and we're going to start taking feedback. What's working, what's not working. And then, right, so from there, we have to get user feedback first to figure out why the users aren't jumping onto the app, and then adjust and hopefully pivot. And then hopefully in the future, they continue to use the app, because over time they get value from it and less maybe visits and prescriptions from the doctor, right?
All right, Anthony. Thank you for keeping us healthy. Thank you for building strong with your team. And cheers to a nice interaction from our judges.